Shalom, Pastor, I'll come back at you with the truth, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Kakodash. I'm gonna make this quick. Least the spirit jump on me. Anyway, I'm gonna entitle this video, "The Nations Have Drunken of Her Wine, Therefore the Nations Are Mad." This is from Jeremiah 51, verse 7. And give me a second here. Give me a second. I just want to move a couple of tabs over. Bear with me. Okay, this is a video that was put up by the beloved elder Malcolm out of GMF Chicago. So I saw it. You know, I have him in my. I subscribe to him and get all his notifications. So he's one of the. This is one of the one of the YouTube pages I watch when I get notifications. Anyway, it was put up today, April 12th. The name of the video is "Secret Counsels of Darkness Brought to Light." Very short video, but a very straight and to the point. And this is where he shows, there's videos on Fox News Financial with Maria, whatever her name is. And you know what I'm gonna do? This is 4 minutes and 56 seconds in. This is Maria Berteromo right here. She used to be on, I think she was on Bloomberg. She was either on Bloomberg or CNBC, and then now she's with Fox. But her specialty is, business and economics. And I believe she's one of us. Only time will tell. So let me come back to what did I say? I was at 4:56. Okay, India, it's not your war. I'm just gonna let you listen, then I'll give, then I'll say what I gotta say, whatever precepts come to me mind, I'll bring out. Well, the first precept was the one I read in Jeremiah 51. Did I read the whole thing? Let me come back. And I love, where is it? I love Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51 and Jeremiah 49. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Now her drunkenness is Esau's philosophy coming out of America, which is Christianity. When Christopher Columbus came over here, he didn't bring democracy, he brought Christianity. If you didn't accept Christianity and the Renaissance Jesus, you were put to death. That's the penalty for saying, I don't believe in this white guy, kill him. And then they put others into slavery. When they went back to Spain, he brought back with him 500 Indian slaves. And they didn't get killed because they accepted Jesus. So they accepted Jesus, and what did they get? What reward did they get? They went into slavery. You got a lot of Jakes in Spain. You got a lot of Jakes in Spain. So the drunkenness is their philosophies. It started with so-called Christianity, Renaissance Christianity. They gave it to the slaves, which we call it plantation Christianity. And then democracy. When you go to any country on the planet, including Russia, including China, they all have an election system, a voting system, which is rigged, just like over here. but that came from America under, I'll say this is call it the philosophy of democracy, which really doesn't work. You know, really doesn't work. It's you know, it's a flawed doctrine, philosophy, whatever you want to call it. So drunken, meaning if you get somebody drunk, you can pickpocket, you can take their money, you can make them spend, they'll do things that they regret doing because they did it in a drunken stupor. So Esau over here in America, the reason why I keep talking about America, because this is a group of Edomites that was more stout than their fellows pursuant to Daniel the 7th chapter, meaning they think they the shits. And everybody accepted this doctrine, philosophy, whatever you choose to call it, called democracy. Yeah, this is a great, we got to get rid of the kings and the queens, and we'll let people decide, which we know it's all bullshit. That's why people don't even hardly go out and vote. So it says the nations have drunken of her wine, tasted of her philosophy, whether it be Christianity. And by the way, Christianity is not the so-called mark. You know, the image of the beast is not a picture of Caesar Borgia, because the Indians are not worshiping no damn Caesar Borgia. I can go quickly and see the dominant religion of India, and it's not Christianity. Matter of fact, I got to go prove it. I said it. Let me go and try to prove it. Top religion in India. Hinduism is an ancient religion with the largest religious grouping in India, with around 966 million. That's triple the population of America. Adherents as of 2011, composed of 79% of the population. What is the main religion in India? Hinduism. India is a home to several religions, but the most common is Hinduism. So when you say that the MOTB is Christianity, it says that the whole world will receive the mark, right? Among the Hindus, you got almost 1 billion people that follow the religion of Islam. That has nothing Hinduism. So this is some bullshit. So the MOTB is not no Christianity. There ain't no way in the world you're gonna get almost a billion Indians to accept Christianity. It's just not going to happen. I had to do that. So now let me just go to the video here. Let you listen. I hope you can hear it. Yeah, this India, this broadcaster, news personality from India, he had said something about NATO, and this Edomite over here, he says, you know, that NATO and America has helped the people of Ukraine. And he says, what the hell are you doing? So this guy opens up on him, showing you that these nations, they see the weakness of this place. It's the scriptures say, let the weak say I am strong. Let me pull that out. Bear with me for a minute. I believe that's Joel, if I'm not mistaken. Let the weak Let's see what comes up. Joel 3 and 10. I was right. Joel 3. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles and nations, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, the military of all these nations. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come down, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, modern day spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen nations, and gather yourself together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Those are the angels. It speaks about the archangels in the great river Euphrates, stirring things up. In Revelation 7, it speaks about the angels holding back the winds until the servants of the Most High are sealed. So when they make a statement, the 10th verse, let the weak say I am strong, that means, America's been the bully on the block. What's the term? Hegemony. Let me look that up. Hegemony. Wait a minute. Hegemony. Hegemony. Definition. Hegemony. Leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. So when you think of America, you think of the term or the word hegemony should come to mind. So this Edomite, let me find this again. This Edomite, disrespectfully got up in the face of this guy and said, what are you doing? And he basically comes back and said, look, we ain't doing a damn thing. That ain't our war. That's your war. That's your war. He lets him have it. And see, Esau is now beginning to realize that these nations are doing their own, going their own way, doing their own thing. Remember, India is part of the BRICS nations. The allies of, 5 nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And I did a video yesterday where I showed a excerpt from a video that Mike put up, which is Rethink the Dollar. And they had this triangle. They had Biden on the top. They had Putin on one side and China on the other side, and how China is making deals. Now China's buying oil from Russia, from Putin, and they're no longer, you got to remember one thing, the world reserve currency, which the America was, was given the keys, so to speak, when it comes to currencies. And anytime you did trade on an international level, you had to convert your dollar, like let's say the yuan, which is the Chinese dollar, or the yen, which is the Japanese dollar, or the pound. You had to exchange it from your money to American money, which is the Federal Reserve note, and then you would buy your gas. And they didn't want to do that. That's what the the war in Iraq, Desert Storm was all about. They had to deal with Germany. Germany was buying oil from Iran, but they would exchange the Deutschmark into Fed notes. So their exchange would be with the Fed. So they said we ain't gonna do that no more, because the Fed notes are, the Federal Reserve notes are weak, because they play with the printing money and producing money out of nowhere. So they said we're gonna do it this way. So they said, no, you're not. And they were, okay, you're gonna do it that way, we're gonna declare war with you. And really, it's called a petrodollar. Let me look that up. I'm looking a lot of things up today. Petrodollar, which is nothing but the world reserve currency. Petrodollar. Petrodollar. Petrodollars are US dollars paid to an oil exporting country. You got the term OPEC. OPEC stands for oil producing exporting countries. So any here it is right here, OPEC, oil producing exporting countries. Any country that exports oil is part of the OPEC. Petrodollars are US dollars paid to an oil exporting country. Petrodollars are the primary, which are Federal Reserve notes. The world reserve currency is Federal Reserve notes. Primary source of revenue, meaning you got to switch your money to Federal Reserve notes, which are also known as petrodollars, in order to buy oil from another country. Country A wants to buy something from country C, they have to change their dollars with country B, which is America. Source of revenue for many OPEC members and other oil exporters settle sales in US dollars. That's what the Desert Storm was all about, because the dollar is the most widely used currency, making it easier for them to invest, export proceeds. But people don't want to use it, because what this country does through the Treasury and through the Feds, they pump money in the system, creating inflation. The reason why everything's going up, including your gas, is for inflation. It's because of inflation. If it's not checked, it becomes hyperinflation. And you know me, I got to go into a little bit of the economy. So anyway, these nations are saying, man, fuck the fucking petrodollar, fuck the Federal Reserve. We ain't exchanging shit. We setting up our own alliances. I mentioned BRICS. And that's a strong alliance, man. I heard today, listening to Gary Noll, the beloved brother Gary Noll, and he did a video that he put out, DVD, whatever he's selling. If I got the name, I would buy it. But he goes into nutrition, but he also goes into a lot of the, global things, conversations dealing with global politics and so forth. Anyway, where am I at? Let me just let you hear. Let me shut the hell up and let me let you hear. So listen up, listen up, listen up. The Indian newscaster, he gonna blow up on this Edomite right here. And they're realizing that, wait, you motherfuckers ain't respecting me no more. And the nations were mad because they were drunk off of your Babylon juice.
Unnecessary attack on India, I do not understand anymore, and it's becoming frustrating. I should only respond to you're accusing NATO of being weak. What is India doing? I should only respond to very briefly to your unnecessary attack on India. I do not understand anymore, and it's becoming frustrating that any discussion regarding this war becomes a discussion on India. But I will say it one more time to you, Doug. India is going to take care of India. India is going to.
Translation, hood vernacular, fuck you. Fuck you. When he said India will take care of India, meaning fuck you. We ain't worrying about you niggas.
To look after India's interests. And our economy is growing 3 times the pace or 4 times the pace of the American economy. More and more Americans are living under the poverty line. They are not able to make ends meet.
He's talking about the middle class and the lower middle class. He said the middle class is disappearing, man. And you know, the last people that realize it are the actual middle class in this country. A bunch of fucking dumbasses, man. India will take care of India, meaning fuck you.
Right. And more Indians are rising economically. And please read, this is not our war. You are the ones with the biolabs in Ukraine. You are.
Ooh. He said, this is not our war. You are the ones with the biolabs. It's leaked out. Now everybody's talking about it. What they're finding out is there's, according to them, I don't know nothing. I'm a humble little Jake. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is what they're saying, that there's biochemical labs in the Ukraine that really behind the country that's really behind it is, yours truly. All right. So this man's speaking with anger, man. And this devil right here ain't saying nothing, man. He ain't saying nothing. He said that bully tactics are not working anymore. Shameful spewing on your glory.
Joe Biden's sons was doing all kinds of business in Ukraine. You were vested in Ukraine. You were pushing Ukraine. You were encouraging Ukraine. And yesterday, your president went and said, listen, Zelensky, if you want to give up territory, it's your choice. Listen, Zelensky, if you want to break up your country and give a little bit of it.
When has Babylon been that reasonable? Normally, they bomb the hell out of somebody, but they can't because Biden made a statement about a month ago at a press conference, news conference, whatever you want to call it, presidential briefing, whatever the hell you want to call it. Somebody said, "Oh, are we going to send troops over there to Ukraine to fight the Russians for Ukraine?" And the first time Biden sounded intelligent, he said, "No, we couldn't do that because that would be World War III." And in World War III, who said design? Einstein said. He said, what would it be like in World War III? He said, I can tell you what it's going to be like in World War IV. The war will be fought with sticks and stones because World War III, they know even as far back as whatever the 50, when he made that statement, matter of fact, let me go ahead and get it. We'll find out what year he said that. World War IV, sticks and stones. I want the year when he said it. I want the year when he said it. Bear with me for a minute. Come on, huh? Bear with me for a minute. Did Albert Einstein say World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones? A quote appears to paraphrase remarks made by the famed physicist, but he wasn't the first to warn about the dangers of nuclear weapons. But I wanted to get the year. This had to be sometime in the 50s, I would guess. Anyway, that's all I got to get. Let me come back to this individual right here. Listen up.
Russia, it's your choice. You have hung the Ukrainians up to try it out, and how dare you question?
And that's what they did. That's what they did. What this guy Zelensky is doing, they propping this guy up as a hero. You know, he's the what they say? He's the George Washington of the Ukraine. What he's doing is he's sacrificing his people, man. He's engaging in a war that he possibly can't win. So it's a matter of how many people you kill before you surrender. But he could have surrendered and had talks and saved his people. Even Geronimo, correct me if I'm wrong, gave up because he loved his people, because he knew that the so-called white man was going to slaughter them. He wasn't afraid of death, but he cared for the people, the men, the women, and the children, especially the children and the women. So in war, you got to think, you know, are you going to win this war? And Zelensky knows he can't win the war. So what's happening? He's in essence, he's literally sacrificing his own people, men, women, and children. And see, it's going to go back to NATO and the US, because NATO and the US could have stopped it by intervening, but they know that would be a mad scenario, mutually assured destruction. That's the end of this man's system. That's what you call a Mexican standoff, where you got a bunch of guys, half of the guys on one side, the other half is on the other, the narcos, and then you got the police, and they just shoot it out. And basically all of them die. You might have one or two survivors. So it's a no-win situation. And that's what would happen. If NATO got involved, it would be a Mexican standoff. It will be World War III. And it's going to happen anyway. Let's listen to a little bit more. They keep saying the whole world is against the Russians. That's bullshit. Because wouldn't the BRIC nations be against? Wouldn't they break up the BRICS nations? Fucking stupid, man. And you keep saying, please forgive me for jumping in, but you know how it goes. Anyway, the Indian guy, he ain't listening, man. Shut the fuck up. This guy is Zekheim. I don't know if he's a small hat or German descent. I don't know, out of Washington, D.C., which is one of three city states. D.C. Actually, you have in where's that? Langley, the Pentagon. You know, war talks happen in D.C. London deal with the finances. Vatican City is the religious, spiritual part. I behold three demons like frogs, spirits come like frog come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast. That's DC, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. That's Vatican City, and all the baby churches.
Giving them weapons, you are driving them further down into greater difficulty.
giving them weapons, you are driving them down into difficulty, further difficulty, because they're dying, they're being sacrificed, man.
Begging the Venezuelans to give him a little bit of extra oil, but he says that India is on shaky ground. America fled for Afghanistan with their incompetence exhibited in frightening pictures of Afghans hanging onto the wheels of their transport aircraft. But he says, no, India has been shaky about Ukraine. This is his war.
So, like he said, it's his war. Why are you looking for the India to give $2 billion? You know, it's his war, right? But
And he said that because he knows India has India. I ran into some Indian guys. One guy, he works at a gas pump, so gas station, and we were just talking, and he was telling me about. He showed me pictures. He said his family in India, they're heavy in the gold, and he showed me like a gold piece. And he said, yeah, we heavy in the gold. We got money. See, we got lots of money in India. Anyway, let me let you listen to a little bit more.
hey, it's the information is out there. So, you know, the West wants to control the narrative and just give a one-sided, because every time you watch it, it's just a one-sided. Even in Chicago, on the bus stops and everywhere, you know, it's all about Ukraine, help these Ukrainian children. But yet, you know, Americans has caused so many children to starve and so many people to be in poverty. But, you know, those are people of color, melanin, often Israelites, and some of the other Hebrews too. They just didn't matter. It was okay. But all of a sudden, you know, they care about the Ukrainian children. And I can only imagine the children are getting trafficked, and then the money that's going over there is never really making it to the people. It's the same thing that was done in Haiti and every damnwhere else. It's Haiti when you find out about, you know, sex trade and all kind of madness, and people get filthy rich with people sending money, and the money's never made. And, you know, it's
That's what happened with Haiti. They blocked all that money. I'm not going to go. That's a whole different subject. Anyway, let me deal with the word mad. Click on the word mad. Halal. Okay, boast, to be boastful. To be boastful. See, the Indian guy got boastful on the Edomite. Now, when you go here to, let me put in fornication. You know, a lot of precepts came to mind. Isaiah 13 for one. Well, Joel 2, that was the first one that came to mind. Let the weak say I'm strong. Isaiah 14 and 9, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. That's Revelation 16. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even that's in Isaiah 14. So these nations are forming alliances, and they're basically telling, you know, NATO and the head of NATO, the official head of NATO is the U.S. They're pretty much saying, F you. You know, we have military might, just like you have military might. What I said I was going to go fornication. Fornication. If I didn't spell it right. Let me bring it back. Fornication. Fornication comes up a bunch of times, 36 times to be exact, 32 verses. Fornication means adultery, but then you have a spiritual fornication, which is drunkenness in Jeremiah 51. Revelation 9, verse 21, neither repent they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornications, nor of their thefts. Revelation 14, verse 8, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Now, what did it say in Jeremiah? It said drunk, right? Let me go to Jeremiah. Go back to Jeremiah 51. Okay, 7. Babylon hath, so we can see Babylon in Revelation 17 and 18, wherever it's written, Revelation and 14 is the same as a Babylon over here in Jeremiah 51. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, her Christianity, her democracy, her ways of life. Every member of the UN has drunken of the wine of this lady. Therefore, the nations are mad. So they tasted your wine and had a bad taste to it. And they're like, F you. So now let's come back to Revelation 14 and 8. You know me, I go into the prophecies. Prophecies are popping off like popcorn. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, which is America, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Therefore, the nations mad. And then all these nations that possess missiles will shoot their missiles on Babylon the Great. Revelation 17 and 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad, Jeremiah 51, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Fourth verse, Revelation 17 and 4, and the woman was arrayed, which represents Babylon the Great, which is America, that great city, in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Revelation 18 and 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Jeremiah, go right back to Jeremiah 51 and 7, and the kings of the earth, the other nations, that's why the Indian reporter, whatever his name was, tore in to that Edomite from the DC. Because he said, we here at NATO, we give $2 billion to the Ukrainians. What have you given? And the Indian reporter said, look, India is going to take care of India. And by the way, the BRICS nations, one of the BRICS nations is India. That's a powerful alliance right there. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Like China, for example, they became rich through America. They made these, it was the Edomites from over here that went over there and showed them how to produce things because of cheap labor. So when you go to like a BJ's or Costco's or Walmart, everything that you buy in there is made in China. Most of it, I'll say 98% of it is made in China. So who's becoming rich? The Chinese. So what are the Chinese doing with all the riches that they got from you? They're saying, fuck you, we over you now. We're gonna build an army, and if you got a problem with it, we'll go to war with you. That's why the Indian guy opened up on that devil. Ninth verse, same chapter, Revelation 18:9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. And why? Because they're not going to make no more money. For you newer people, I'm gonna read. We already know what the 10th verse says, saying afar off, for the fear of a torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come. Revelation 9, 9 and 12, around 9 and 12, it says 1 day, 1 year, 1 month, 1 hour. It's only going to take 1 hour. And what's going to do that? Those hypersonic missiles and the ICBM missiles. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So that's how they became rich. And when they became rich, they looked down on America. Come back. Last scripture, I'm going to close. Revelation 19:2. For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which is who? The great whore is also Revelation 17:4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, her wine. They became drunk, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. Who are the servants of the Most High? Revelation 7, starting from the top, the ones that are sealed, 144,000. And then the rest of the elect, and then the rest of Israel ultimately. It said what? For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, her wine. She made them drunk, and therefore the nations are mad. They got a raw deal. Let's look up the word corrupt in the Greek. And part of your judgment is captivity. You can buck up against it all you want, vocab Malone. You better hope one thing. You better hope that you're not an Edomite. You might not be an Israelite. You might be what do you call it? One in a mixed multitude. You might be an Arab. You might be an Ishmaelite. You better hope, because the one that's going to get the biggest foot in their ass are you Edomites. Bear with me for a minute. Corrupt, did corrupt.
Strong's G 5351. Fire up. Fire up.
You heard it. To corrupt, to destroy. In the opinion of the Jews, the temple was corrupted or destroyed when anyone defiled or in the slightest greed damage anything in it, or if its guardians neglected their duties to lead away a Christian church from that state of knowledge and holiness in which it ought to abide. Now, Christian meaning Israelite. All right. Anytime you see Christian, it means Israelites that believed in the Messiah. And the reason why the nations were mad, because what the great who gave them was corrupt, wasn't the right way. To be destroyed, to perish, in an ethical sense, to corrupt, deprive. Ethical meaning you doing some dirty work. You telling these people one thing and you're doing another thing behind their back. And that's why that man had so much hate for that Edomite on the panel. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.